What's going on tonight, folks?
What's going on tonight, folks?
It's time for talking Busch.
I am not your host. I am not David Pikus. I am the two-time Busch Bowl champion, the styling and profiling, kiss-stealing, wheeling and dealing, son of a gun, the most powerful force in the universe.
I'm just too sweet. It's John Thompson. What's going on, everybody? We got a different lineup tonight.
What a good lineup, though.
Yeah, this is probably better than the original. I think we've upgraded with outsourcing. So I guess I'm gonna just kind of handle the intros tonight because I'm on a roll. I haven't even had a drink of alcohol yet today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
How long are you gonna talk?
Maybe we should get Derek back because this POS in Duluth needs to shut his hole.
Geez, our number one listener already coming in pretty hot.
Yeah, no kidding. You invite a guy on a show trying to be nice, and then he opens his big fat trap. Don't you have some sighting to do or something like that? Anyway,
sorry.
Yeah, well, you're dumb enough to do it that way. So anyway, like I said, it's John Thompson. I'm joined by Matt Train. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. Happy to be here.
Also, from where I think he's in St. Paul. He's Woodbury. He's in Egan. He lives somewhere down the cities. Who frickin' cares? It's PJ Flex, Fluff Boy, David Pikus. Dave, what's happening, man?
Johnny Thompson, I'm doing pretty well. How you doing tonight?
I am living the dream. The dream.
Now that Mr. Train has officially handed over the reins and we're starting to run this league a little bit more strict, I got a new hat for this week. I'm now the law. So
that is awesome.
I've ruled on a couple of things so far. Tim Grieve trying to get guys who are suspended for beating women just to be able to put on the IR. That bullshit.
That ain't flying.
Nib that in the butt right away. So real excited to run the show here a little bit. But real fun.
Awesome.
And of course, you're Johnny Thompson over in the Painesville, Minnesota studio, coming to us live. We got you're running a draft right now.
I am.
An auction draft while we're on. Matt, you're doing one, or you just finished up one?
Round 14. Round 14. We got a few more left.
Yikes! And I did right after work. I had a 10-team snake draft. So we're right in the heart of it, boys. Got another draft tomorrow night. So.
Have you guys done the Guillotine League before yet? Haven't done
I have not.
No.
I heard it on Church's challenge. First off, who are we talking to? Who is this guy? We haven't even introduced him. He just starts blabbering.
And all the way up in Hermantown, Minnesota.
Hermantown. Well, still technically
doesn't have much of it.
Not
but
much.
He is the dumpster fire. He's talked about almost every week on this program. Now he gets to finally defend himself.
There's not much to defend.
Hey, I'm in the playoffs.
How are we doing, bud?
Playoffs?
Not too bad. Playoffs.
Drew, where the
doing
hell have
pretty
you been?
well.
No one's seen you in months. What have you been doing?
You guys heard here, but I'm building a house. So, been kind of busy.
Oh, so, just paying the guy to come and build the house for you, and you just kind of sit back, or what?
You know what? Trying to do a majority of it myself. Luckily, I have some really great friends who come up and help wire. Dave.
One really great friend.
Friends, yeah. Just.
I heard he just stood there and supervised while you wired. That's what I heard.
We did like a 14-hour day the first day.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, but no, we're all moved in. Obviously, there's plenty of projects still to do. As you can probably see behind me here, the window doesn't have any trim, but who needs trim? So.
Doesn't it get pretty cold up there? Won't they let a lot of cold air in?
It's got the foam around it. It's all good.
Okay. Well, good. Glad to have you finishing up with that project. You know, it's been, about 1 year since you officially started on that?
Yeah, October 17th. We broke ground September 1st. Actually, it's been kind of interesting. We've been looking at some pictures on our phone here. September 1st was the first day we actually stuck a shovel in the ground when we started digging out the footings. So,
wow.
Got in under a year, but I bet you I still got another year left of odds and ends.
Yep. No, it'll never be perfect.
No.
So when you say building a house, are you is this like ground up, drew with a hammer and a nail gun, or are you subcontracting basically everything?
I wish. No, so I hired out the clearing. I formed it all up, rebar, foamed it, vapor barred it. I hired a crew to pour it. And then we had Lily in October, so that whole month. I wasn't able to do much, so I hired out the exterior framing and the roof. And so I framed all the interior, I put in all the windows, I did all the shingle, I wrapped it all. I hired out the rough and plumbing. I did the finished plumbing. Dave and I did the wiring. I hung the sheetrock.
Hold on, was there a contractor present to make sure everything is in code?
It passed code, baby.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, finishes, a majority of it. I tried to hire out a little bit here and there, but hiring out is expensive. So.
Yes, it is.
Well, all right. Well, glad to have you kind of almost done with that project. I can't wait for you to either host a draft or a party up there soon for everybody to come and take a look.
If everybody wants to come on up, let's get her down next year.
I like it.
Next year, what if I want to come for the light show that we did 2 years ago? Yeah.
Come on up. I got room.
Yeah. Just asking for a friend.
Got a lot of room.
Asking for a friend.
So are they hiring scoreboard operators for high school hockey at Harrimantown, or are you commuting to Duluth to continue to fulfill that job?
For her, the scoreboard.
Isn't that weren't you doing that in Duluth for Bulldog hockey for like years?
Oh yeah. Back when I was in school, right?
Oh,
valid question. Valid.
You're not in school anymore? I mean, you're wearing a Bulldog shirt tonight, so
I'm repping. Hey, back-to-back national champions.
So do you have loyalties now to Harrimantown?
I do not. So technically, I'm still Duluth. Address.
I don't know
Proctor.
about that.
Proctor School District.
Proctor Rails. What a stupid name.
Yep. Have you been to Proctor yet?
I think I have been to Proctor.
I don't think Rails is that dumb. I mean, geez, lay off the school, man.
Been to Proctor. It's got a big trail.
You could be an Annandale. You could be an Annandale Cardinal, for God's sakes. Just back off.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Matt's sour about the Proctor Rails because of our junior year or senior year.
Yeah.
We
took a bus like 7
we had to take
hours.
A bus all the way to Hibbing to play on Kevin McHale's court in the Hibbing Memorial Auditorium, and we were up like 40 to like 4 at halftime.
I think it was 28-0 at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
that was the first round of the state tournament. That was in the state tournament.
Correct. It was. And we just dominated.
Yeah.
And then came back.
Yeah. And then they went on to lose to St. Michael.
Not great. All right. Well, enough of reminiscing about the past. Let's get into a few topics tonight. We got a few good ones. We had the Gophers play last Thursday night. Got the W, 1-0. We finally saw how this team's going to operate a little bit this year. Offensively, if they can figure out the offensive line, I think we'll be just fine. Their wide receivers look like they ran good routes. We get a little bit of the running game going. We'll probably do that against Fresno this week. Tough game.
What is the status of Derek Hartman as a season ticket holder? I'm dying.
Oh my God.
To know.
Okay, so that guy. Great day, by the way. We tailgated with some nice people. They had a shrimp boil, and Derek Hartman eats shrimp now. Who knew? Most picky eater in the world eats shrimp.
Yeah. Georgia will do that to a guy.
We get into the game. We're very excited. First quarter, first offensive series, Derek's already got issues. Mr. Negative starts coming out. 4 quarters of that, I couldn't even walk back to the car with him at the end of the night.
So do I have a secondary anti-fleck fuck with me?
Or no. No.
Okay.
I think he built this up way too big in his head, and forgot that it's Gopher football, and we will be just fine. We always come out flat. BJ's the guy to get us excited for these next games. We'll be just fine. I got a tough opponent this week at Fresno State. It's a 9:30 game for us, so those guys are going to have to get it up again. It sounds like we should have close to 5,000 fans there, which is kind of fun from what I'm reading from the different message board sites. So that'll be great. They got a nice 40,000 seat stadium. It looks like they're going to be pretty well sold out. They played pretty well against USC this week. But again, you look at college football on the whole this last weekend, first game, everybody kind of started out slow. Everybody made some mistakes. We showed some gall by coming back after going down by a point and, won that game, went on a great drive. So I think we'll be okay. When I rewatched the game on Saturday morning, I noticed that, we were a step away from breaking a few long touchdowns that we could have blown them out of the water. If we didn't have a couple of Olays on the right side of the offensive line, would have been pretty good too. One concerning thing for me, and this just might be how it is, but Carter Coughlin, who, preseason All-American, preseason All-Big Ten, he should be in on every defensive play. He would take 3-4 plays off in the rotation. Not loving that. I'm guessing it's just because it was the first game, but we need him on the field to be competitive. Also, we had one of our linebackers out, so that led that kind of middle of the field and middle flat stuff open, which we got beat on. But overall, should be fun.
Well, the Jackrabbits don't throw a pick six when he fumbles it and then tosses up for grabs. And if they don't fumble on whatever it was midfield, I mean, it's an L, man.
Here he comes, man. Here he comes.
Dave, get him.
It's not an L.
You don't think so?
No. On the whole, we dominated that football game.
Okay. Hold on.
Rewatch it. We did.
I will admit I didn't watch the all 22 of the Saturday morning after. So
what I am going to stick up for you for, Dave, is a win is a win.
Yep.
Because everybody gives the excuses that, we didn't win clean or we didn't do this. Well, not every game is going to do that. But you got the W, and that's all that matters.
Right.
So
my feeling that was not a good game. It did not go the way the Gophers wanted. They won, and they're better than SDSU. They absolutely are. They'll play better throughout the season. Quarterback played well. I was impressed. I was impressed with the quarterback play. I was disappointed. I think in whenever you get a Power 5 conference school playing at FCS, you'd like to be able to push them around a little bit more. I was disappointed with the game up front and how they weren't able to impose their will a little bit more. So I do think Drew's right that Gophers got a couple gifts in the second half, like gifts. They didn't force it.
You know what's crazy though? That last winning drive when we marched down the field and ran the ball for
they got
7 plays for 50 yards.
Yeah,
we literally just marched our way down the field and were ragdolling them.
That's true.
That entire series. So I think that we could have. I think I should go back and see how many different plays we ran because it felt like we were running the same play over and over again. Tanner Morgan did a terrible job in the read option. I don't know if just a defensive figured that out. And then the one last point of this is, and what I was trying to get across to Derek is, for South Dakota State, this is their Super Bowl. Yeah. They've been planning since the end of last season to play this game, scheming us, our offense. We have all the same guys back.
It's probably more like a championship game because if they do end up getting to the, NC Division 1A or whatever, that's a big deal too. I mean, let's not.
Well, this game is a win-win for them,
and they're ranked third. I mean, they're ranked third. They're big time in FCS for sure.
I would say that out of the Big Ten West and the opponents that we played against, they were the best opponent out of the group.
Yeah.
So it's not that little bitch cupcake school that Wisconsin played, and I mean Nebraska looked fucking terrible for half the football game. Even more than that.
Yeah.
Are you worried about at Fresno next week?
I think it's gonna be a tough game. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna test the goals, but
especially since Fresno took it too, but they made USC pretty nervous there for three quarters of that game.
USC was making mistakes also.
It's the same about the U of M.
Well, I know.
It's just, you know what I mean?
I'm just saying that week 2, teams that were mentally committing mental errors in week 1 will get those cleaned up for week 2.
I think to Drew's point, the most concerning thing about that is that SDSU made more mental errors, like big time mental errors than what the Gophers did. They handed over 2 turnovers in the second half that should not have happened.
I mean, the interception throw, that was because we bull rushed them.
No, it was because the center rolled the ball on the ground.
Yeah, but
box.
The center didn't pick the ball up off the ground.
Right, rolled back.
Matt, can I just ask, how did you watch the game? I'm impressed right now.
Yeah, so I had technical difficulties with Fox Sports Go. The difference between Fox Sports Go and the Fox Sports app. Did not work on my Fire TV. Fired it up on my cell phone. It worked pretty good.
So I'm impressed you got to see this. That you wanted to have facts when you came into this bull ring. I love it.
I think it's just fine.
I think I've been overly friendly compared to most.
Yeah, you have. I'm just impressed when you're actually like, no,
I think it's gonna be just fine.
Like you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed.
I think they're gonna be just fine too. Well, I don't think they're gonna win the Big Ten West, but they're better than
you never did
for sure. You're right, I didn't.
Did you watch Nebraska on Saturday?
No, I didn't watch Nebraska.
They were horseshit. They pulled away at the end.
Yeah, they did.
I think if we would have got our confidence like we had towards the end of the game, at the beginning of the third quarter, we just needed a good spark to get us going, and we would have done the same thing that Nebraska did and scored 3 more touchdowns. But that's college football, and that's what happens. We're 1-0.
That's right.
So then Saturday night or Thursday night also, your Vikings shit the bed after going up kind of big on Buffalo.
Yeah.
Obviously I didn't watch that game, and I don't rewatch those games. But didn't look good from the recaps that I saw. Then they made some cuts. And as pretty concerning to us and the local boys, they cut Brandon Zylstra, who we thought was a lock, this whole time.
Yeah.
Little did we know that they were just going to be leaving a spot open for a wide receiver that was going to get dropped. That is got some good route running abilities and can go up and catch the ball too. In Doxson. So let's just go around the horn here quick and see. I'm going to read off a couple of key positions for us, John. You tell me, was it the right move to keep these guys or was it not?
Sure.
Obviously, we got rid of Slaughter later. So we got Kirk Cousins and John.
Mannion.
Quarterback?
Sean Mannion, yeah.
What are your thoughts there?
It's pretty obvious that Kubiaks don't think that Kyle Sloter can run their offense because they were in Denver when he was there. He got released. He comes over here. He's pretty much Superman in the preseason. They come over here and he's gone. So I'd like to think that they know something we don't, because in the preseason he looked pretty damn good. To maybe earn the right to be the second string. I guess the thing is Sean Mannion has played at a bigger school. He's had some experience with the Rams, so I guess I'm okay with it. But Sloter was just kind of fun to watch because he kind of brought that like gunslinger mentality a little bit. So that's kind of disappointing, but I think they'll be okay going with Kirk and Mannion moving forward.
Yeah, I think so too. Obviously a fan favorite, and he grew quite a following in the area, mostly because of the Rube talk on K-Fan. But nonetheless, I think they went with the right guys.
Yeah.
Here's a question though. If Kirk gets injured, we're screwed anyways, right? I mean, who would you rather watch, Mannion, or would you rather watch Sloter?
For an entertainment standpoint, I would much rather watch Sloter, but
who's going to win you more games, Mannion or Sloter?
They apparently think Mannion.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But then again, no other team signed him, right? Everybody else had a right to sign him as a backup.
Yeah. And all he got was
practice squad.
And yeah, he was a practice squad in Arizona. Yep. So who knows?
It's a bit concerning that you don't have that veteran presence in the backup QB position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's still out there.
Space. So what do you do? But
I think they probably were taking a look at that position too on Sunday, on seeing who would get dropped out of veteran quarterbacks, and there wasn't really much out there to get. Let's move over to running back. Nothing out of the ordinary here. We got Dalvin, then we got
Madsen,
Amir Abdullah, Mike Boone, CJ Ham.
Duluth.
So, nothing out of the ordinary there. I think that if Dalvin can stay healthy, he'll be a damn good back this year. And then, to wide receiver, this was kind of interesting. We got Thielen, Diggs, Beebe, and Beasley. And then, at the time, they kept 6 tight ends. But now they're down to only 4, it looks like. But then we added Josh Jackson as a 5th wide receiver. You look at Doxson, and obviously then we got rid of Treadwell. Treadwell, the kid from New London, Zylstra, and then the other wide receiver got dropped earlier in the week, right?
Yeah, and then they cut that Dylan Mitchell they drafted with B.C. Johnson, but he got put on the practice squad.
Right.
Because basically they just said at Oregon, which is true, they just run straight. They run 9 routes and crossing routes. So he didn't know how to run routes very well. So that's why he got put on the practice squad.
Makes sense. So out of that wide receiver group, does Doxson move up because he's more of like that Treadwell size and can run those crossing routes like he did last year? And is that what Kirk's going to be going to as his outlet valve? Or are we going to get one of these younger guys in and they're going to take those third down, 3 wide crossing patterns?
May I go first?
Yes, John.
I think Doxson will do much kind of like Alderic Robinson did last year, which was kind of a safety net for Kirk, just because he had a rapport with him. Heard a stat on Barrero's show today that when Doxson was finally healthy, because he tore his Achilles his rookie year, Kirk, I think he was 3rd behind Jamison Crowder and can't think of the other guy I watched him. But anyway, he was third receiver on the depth chart. He ended up grabbing 44 grabs for 800 yards and 6 TDs. Not a bad stat line.
No.
So I think he'll
if BB kind of has the dropsies like he did in the third preseason game, I think Doxson will slide in nicely and kind of be that safety net.
Okay, perfect. Drew, you got any thoughts on the wide receivers?
No, I think it's however that the cut line works. I think Vikings must have been had an inkling that Doxson was going to get cut, right? To come out with only 4 wide receivers, everybody's going like, how the hell are you going to get by with just 4? Mm-hmm. And then a little bit later, you sign them. So I'm fine with it. I think everybody's got a little bit of homer to him for pulling for Zylstra, right? Thinking, why the hell did we cut him? And he got signed to a 53-man roster in Carolina, so you just hope that doesn't come back and regret it there in the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get Wally pipped.
No. Well, I mean, he was a hell of a special teams player last year for us.
Good punt return.
I think that Carolina's going to use him. And
Carolina doesn't have a for sure number 1, so it's either Samuel or DJ Moore or Christian McCaffrey is pretty much their third wide receiver. You never know if Greg Olson's going to be healthy. I mean,
he's got that third leg. It's almost in a walker.
That thing, that's a tripod if I've ever seen one. But yeah, I mean, he's got a real shot, and that's kind of what I heard through the grapevine is he didn't want to go on the practice squad with Minnesota. He either wanted to be cut or wanted to be on the roster and I think he went to the perfect place. I really do.
I think so too. I think that he'd be a really good Belichick receiver also, because he does run good routes. Maybe not the fastest guy in the world, but he does run good routes.
Right.
All right. Then, can you talk a little bit about this special team situation that we're running into with the? Can we keep a guy? Are we going to get rid of a guy? What do we got?
Yeah.
John or Matt?
Yeah, go ahead. You go first. I went first last time.
I'm a little bit concerned about the level of sensitivity that Zimmer operates with kickers. I'm a little bit concerned about that, to be totally honest. It's been a revolving door basically since Zimmer's gotten here. And Daniel Carlson, now granted, the Green Bay game last year was a shit show. It was awful. And I don't, when that happened, I don't think anybody blamed Zimmer. But we've also seen guys like Mason Crosby make a career in the NFL after going through kind of some cold streaks. And
the yips, yeah, he had the yips bad that one year.
And you know what? If it's the right guy that can overcome them, which Crosby has been, that's better. Wading through that stuff is better than having this revolving door of old kickers who can only kick it 40 yards.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's concerning. It is concerning to me. And I don't know. Matt Wild. I'm not a punting expert by any means, but Matt Wild was pretty good last year. I hope the guy that they've got punting now. I hope that he's Cloquet, whatever his name is. I guess 34 years old or something like that. I guess he's been in the league a long time, so you give him that. But
if he's a specialist like that, he can kick or punt till he's 40.
Yeah.
Those guys don't get hit.
No,
but that being said, we need some consistency at it. I feel like Zimmer doesn't put any weight on the special teams for, the entire, phase of the game. He really just thinks it's offense and defense that are going to win you that ball game, and it could come and bite him in the ass.
Well, it has.
Yeah. Hopefully they get this figured out because this is just crazy. This is almost worse than our quarterback carousel that we've had for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's it sucks, but he has said that he is a little hard on special teams, but then again, he's hard on I think he had a good example in the Fish Wrap Factory West Side. He said that if Xavier Rhodes isn't doing his job, he's hard on him, right? Remember, he made him put boxing gloves on because he kept grabbing everybody. Yep. But if he's hard on Dan Bailey, he's a meanie. He's a bully. And
right.
And I think to a point he's got a point. But then again, kickers I think are more of a head case than cornerbacks.
Well, I'm putting
depending on your perspective.
Yeah, and putting boxing gloves on Xavier Rhodes is different than cutting the kicker you just traded up in the draft to get.
True. And then he did admit that was a knee-jerk reaction because obviously with everything that's happened in the special teams game, I mean, he just had enough at that point, and
but
it was a knee-jerk.
Yeah, you also don't know. I mean, you just, we stuck with Blair Walsh for several years, and Blair Walsh will probably not get another job in the NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he just got cut by Atlanta.
Yeah. And so it's like, well, how much of it is hindsight? You know what I mean? And Daniel Carlson ended up having a good year last year. He may not last more than another year or two. So you never know. It's kind of a crapshoot.
Well, I think it's got to be a confidence thing. And if you lose confidence in your kicker, if there's another guy out there that can do it better, you think he can do it better, you got to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
but
that being
I think
said, go ahead.
Just to get something in there, is it not the curse of the Vikings kicker though? I mean, you got Carlson who came over, was horseshit, and then goes to Oakland and is decent. You got the guy we traded for, right, with the 5th round pick here recently, who was, what was he, 12 Vedvik, 12 of 14 in the preseason, and then comes over here and was what, 1 for 4 or 2 for 4, whatever the hell it is. I mean, anybody who comes here to die. And so
it's true. Somebody's got to fix that.
Yeah, but you can't, it's like playing golf, man. Sometimes you're on and sometimes you're not. Like, you have to have a little bit more rope. And again, who the hell knows? Maybe they're seeing it a lot more intimately than I am, obviously. But you can't cut every guy that misses 2 field goals. Can't do it.
I mean, potentially you can.
Well, you can. Theoretically, yes.
Bring in Carly Lloyd.
But you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
One more quick Vikings kicker talker before we hop into a nice special teams game that Matt put together for us. Carly Lloyd is in town playing in the soccer match tonight in St. Paul. Do you think she was over in Egan kicking some footballs for us to see if we can run her through the ringer yet too?
Yeah, why not?
Pretty progressive state that we're in.
Yeah. Practice squad spots still up for grabs.
Yeah. All right. That was my last talker.
All right, guys. So we've got a game similar to last week. Theme here, given the Vikings' problems at the position, is Vikings kickers and punters. Vikings kickers and punters. I've got 6 questions. 1 is just a guess. 1 is an over/under. 3 of them are initial style with clues where you guess. And the last one, or one of them, is going to be a team game where you try and guess a top 10 as a group. Okay. So, Vikings kickers and punters. Question number 1. What year was it when the Minnesota Vikings last made a field goal of 50 or more yards?
Was it
Dave, 2013?
Carlson did, didn't he? What would be that?
No, I want to say, didn't Bailey last year kick a 51?
2016, Blair Walsh made one 50-yard field goal. The year before that, if you remember, he was on.
He did the 10
50 plus. 2015, he made a bunch of them. 2016, he made one. We haven't made one from over 50 yards since then.
Damn.
Of course we haven't.
All right.
Gotta shut those doors.
Number of Vikings kickers and punters rostered this season so far, over or under 4?
Currently or
over or under 4.5? Sorry. Rosters that have had a roster position with the Vikings this season, over or under 4.5?
Including the practice squad?
Including the practice squad.
Well,
that's
over.
Over is correct. 5 punters and kickers rostered by the Vikings in the 2019 season so far.
Can you name them?
Can you name them?
Colquitt, Weil, Bailey, Vedvik, and then whoever the hell we just signed to the practice squad.
McLaughlin.
Yeah, the kid from
McLaughlin.
Chase McLaughlin. Yeah. That's right. 5.
Well, in quick Twins update while we're going here. Taylor Rogers has come in the 8th inning. We were up 6-4. He's pitched 3 pitches. First one was a ball. Second one was a home run over the Green Monster. Third one, he hit a guy.
All right.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. Why would you bring that up? That's depressing.
Yeah.
Not great.
Okay. Initial style. I was the last position player to punt for the Minnesota Vikings. By position player, I mean non-punter or kicker.
Do we get
John.
initials?
John. Yeah, what's it?
There are no initials. Nope.
Okay. John.
Yeah.
Randall Cunningham.
Wow. Nicely done. I did all the research and I got 1 clue in. Randall Cunningham punted 8 times for the Minnesota Vikings. 8 times. Averaged 34 yards a carry.
Was one of those on third down?
I don't know. I didn't research it that deeply.
Because a couple of those were fourth down, starting the shotgun and then go back a couple steps farther.
Yeah. I mean, there probably was. If you're gonna have a quick, I bet something happened on third down. If you're gonna have a quarterback out there and it's not gonna be obvious at some point, I bet one of them was like 3rd and 27 or something like that.
Probably.
Okay, next
punch
question.
off.
I'm 3rd all time in games played for a Vikings kicker or punter. I was named to the 2005 NFL All-Rookie team. I'm 2nd all time in Vikings punting yards.
Who's the Dave?
Yep.
This is gonna be a team deal. Who's the guy that plays the board games?
Oh, Cluey.
Ding,
Chris
ding,
Cluey.
ding, ding. That's correct. And in fact, the next clue was, I'm an avid World of Warcraft player, and I'm in a band called Tipping Icarus.
Yep.
And he was a monster at Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Remember that.
shredder.
Chris Cluey is correct. Okay, now you're working as a team here. You're going to name a top 9. There's only 9 here. Name every player who has recorded a regular season field goal, extra point, or punt since 2010 for the Minnesota Vikings.
2010.
All right. Well, let's start last year. Daniel Carlson and Dan Bailey.
Yep. And the punter?
Weil.
Yep.
Why?
That's 3.
Okay. Before that was Blair Walsh.
Blair Walsh is in this list, but you're missing one in the middle there.
Yep.
Yeah. Blair Walsh. What the hell? Kai Forbath.
Kai Forbath is your kicker from
Nicely
2017.
done, Drew.
You're missing a 2017 punter who is now out of the league.
Oh, that was
Fucking Christ.
Quigley.
Yeah,
Yes, Quigley. There you go.
Ryan Quigley.
So you're now back to
I'm guessing
2016.
the Twins just gave up a homer.
Nope. It was foul. It drifted foul.
2016.
You
had Walsh. You already got Walsh. Who was the punter in 2016?
Jesus, this is sad, but
Jeff Locke, 2016.
Oh, yeah.
And then before that, you had 2 long-standing members, guys that played at least multiple seasons, which it's been a while since we had that around here.
Was that Cluey?
Cluey was the punter,
Longwell.
and Longwell
Longwell.
was the kicker. All 9.
Yep.
Well, you got 8 out of 9.
We got 8 out of 9.
8 out of 9. Nicely done.
You know, Drew Vogt, huge Vikings guy, he gets that. Big time historian.
Okay, last one. Initial style. No initials. I was the last player in the NFL to play under Chuck Noll in Pittsburgh. Last active player to remain in the NFL. I'm an avid fly fisherman.
Okay, hold on. What is this style again? I'm sorry.
This is initial style. It's Vikings kickers and punters. and no actual initials.
Gotcha.
I was born in South Africa and now live in the Canadian Rocky Mountain town of Canmore, Alberta.
John, Gary Anderson.
Ding, 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 ding. Gary Anderson. Woo. We couldn't do it and not include Gary Anderson.
Yeah. So. Exactly.
You could actually have done Morton Anderson, too, because 2 years later, he was our kicker as well.
He was, yeah. And actually, the fifth clue in this was, or the fourth clue was, my scoring record was broken in 2006 by a player of the same surname.
Nice. Yep. You could have done something with which direction do we miss our kicks?
Pro Football Reference did not have that data.
Well, your mind should.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
don't forget.
We got real football coming back this week, which we're very excited about. I wanted to touch on the Twins for just a second, but they're 10-2 in the last 12, crushing it right now, leading the division. So they need to keep it up. We got out of that inning, thank God. And so we're going to the 9th up 1.
Yeah, baby.
And so we'll go from there.
So who's going to cut? Is it Romo time or?
No, we'll go with the new guy. We'll go with the gas.
Oh,
Gratterall.
Oh, I need a serious dose of Brewstard. Gratterall. I need Gratterall
in there.
Hell yeah.
Dude, he was just gassing it the other day. That was amazing.
That was fun.
What's Cleveland doing? They winning?
What do I look like, SportsCenter?
Hey, guys, I got an incoming email from one of our number one listeners.
But is Adam in Rochester?
No, he is not even a part of this league, but he is in Painesville.
Nice, love this guy.
Yeah, hold on here. I gotta get it. Okay, he asks us,
data watch.
Would you start Sony Michel or David Montgomery this week?
I love his questions. Sorry that we don't have better expertise, but...
Well, give it a... Okay, I can't...
Let me consult the book, John.
Oh, God.
Look at that!
That's like looking at an old penthouse from 1988. Oh, it just brings back such good memories.
I can't even look at a magazine that doesn't have LaDainian Tomlinson on the front. It doesn't even register.
Or Priest Holmes.
I don't
know. I think I had one that had
Larry Johnson for that 1 year. It was beautiful.
Hey, Matt, remember when you had Larry Johnson and Dan Tomlinson on the same team? Yeah. Wasn't that awesome?
That was awesome.
Oh, wait a minute.
Until I traded him for Peyton Manning and Terrell Owens, who then went on to quit the league that year and do sit-ups in his front yard.
Yeah. It would have been worth it.
Yeah, and Peyton Manning was good, but it was like 31 touchdowns good. It wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm. All right, so back to the question here, John.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
Travis in Painesville says, would you start Sony Michel or David Montgomery this week? Sony Michel is on Sunday night, I think, against the... not sure who the Patriots play.
Of course, they start on Sunday night.
I think they do, because I know Packers and Bears are Thursday.
I think unless the matchup is really terrible, I like Montgomery because you just never know. You never know with New England, right? Or is Sony Michel still in New England?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just never know with New England.
The thing with the Montgomery thing is they are the first game of the whole season, prime time. Don't know how the Bears are gonna
rookie running back.
Yeah. If they're gonna do like what they did last year, dominate, and then Aaron Rodgers comes back and totally crushes their dreams, But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think A-Rod is gonna have his hands full Thursday night. If you ask me.
It sucks to even give that advice too, because with the Patriots, Sony Michel could have like 8 carries for 4 touchdowns, because that's the way it works with the Patriots. Like that could absolutely happen, but
I think what happened last year is like I had started James White and he had like 10 catches for 100 yards, but every time they got in the goal line area, Sony Michel would come in, so he had like 2 touchdowns. Yeah. So I mean, it was kind of nice because whoever had Sony Michel got the touchdowns. But I ended up getting 10 points when it should have been 80.
Yeah.
Math is horrible. I know, guys. I over exaggerated.
doing that quick math. It's fine.
So I would say Sony Michel is your feast or famine play, and David Montgomery is your workhorse, more conservative play.
There you go, Travis.
Beauty.
Solid advice.
All right, let's hop into some predictors for Week 1 of the Busch League. We have in the first game, we have the Commissioner Bowl. We have Night Train Rain against the Big Hoss. The Big Hoss is right now projected 3.6 points, or 3 points higher than the Night Train Rain. I think I got to go with the Big Hoss in Week 1.
I think I got to go with the Big Hoss as well. Matt, you just don't have enough running back power yet, but I think you'll find a diamond in the rough somewhere along the lines.
That's what I need. I need to find a guy, and unfortunately this week I've got Mahomes against Jacksonville, which is tough. I've got Devontae Adams against Chicago, which is tough. I got the Chicago defense against Green Bay, which is tough. So I'm not going to submit because I'm better at fantasy football than Dave is, so I'm probably going to win. But
you're going to score 100. That's what you do. You score 100.
That's true.
So if I score more than 100, which I think my team can do, I'll be just fine.
All right.
So you're going you?
I'm going me.
Drew, guest picker.
Yeah, I gotta go Big Hoss. The ex-commissioner has a bunch of backup running backs, so I don't think it looks too good.
Good God, man.
He hasn't put any time in.
Running backs are overrated.
He's not sugarcoating shit.
All right, in the second game of the week, we have the Peppy Kids versus the Heartbreak Kid, Timmy Lang. Phil is a 8-point favorite, basically, in this one. I think he's got, looking at it, clear advantage at a lot of the positions. I got to go Peppy Kids. Coming off the Schneid, going to start the season off on the right foot.
Just looking at Tim's team, wasn't a huge fan of it. I kind of like Phil's team just a bit more. Plus, I mean, if ESPN says he's an 8-point favorite, there's a reason for it. So I am also going to stay in my division and go with Phil.
Yeah, well-rounded team for Phil, in my opinion. Lamar Jackson's a big swing factor for him. If he can come out, run the ball successfully, and be like that Cam Newton kind of quarterback, Phil could be really tough. I'm going Phil.
I got to go Peppy Kids as well. Lang's team, kind of same deal. Miles Sanders with Philly. He might be the backup there. Will Fuller, second wide receiver for Houston.
I can't believe you didn't get Will Fuller, Drew.
I know. He's injured all the freaking time, so I've given up on him. I'm moving on.
If he wasn't good enough for just Druitt, then I don't know.
I'll let him pass.
Just not good.
Yeah.
All right.
By that time, I was out of money anyway, so.
In our third matchup of the week, we have Team Aponte versus Soup de Jour. Max is an 8.3-point favorite coming out, just running down his lineup.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Oh, he's got a decent team. I'm not going to lie, up and down. Max did something right during the draft. And Soup's got some guys that could go off, and if they don't, they could be pretty good duds.
I don't know what happened at ESPN, but Soup went from like first overall ranking to fourth or fifth.
Yeah, I don't know what
within
happened
a couple
either.
days. I don't know how the hell that works. But I think this is a fairly even matchup. I don't know. I'm not that high on Antonio Brown. I know Team Ponte loves Antonio Brown.
I'm going Team Aponte, by the way. If that wasn't clear.
I'm gonna go Soup du jour here in the upset. Christian McCaffrey with a big letdown season this season.
Oof.
I was going to say the same thing about Carson Wentz.
No, he has to have a great season before he can have a letdown season.
Yeah, what
he
happened?
did 2 years ago.
Is that because he changed out James White for? Because Trevor was favorited by 100, or he was at 108 as well. I wonder if it's because he changed out James White for.
Probably Zeke.
Yeah.
Probably Zeke.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah. Put Zeke
if
in
Zeke
that
plays,
it's a different deal.
Yeah. If Zeke plays, Trevor wins. If Zeke doesn't play,
well, I think we'll know that tomorrow, huh?
Yeah. So
they're really close.
Wait. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually go with Trevor. I'm gonna put money in that Zeke signs and is ready to at least take some of the carries on Sunday. Or Monday. I think they play Monday. So I'm gonna go Trevor.
Beauty.
I hate Amari Cooper. And so therefore I'm gonna go with Max.
What was that? That was the Phil Bastron like 4-way trade that one year. It didn't pan out for him. He did not really turn it around. But is that what that's from? Is that why you hate Amari Cooper? Or was it you hating Amari Cooper that led to that trade?
Correct. Yeah, I hated Amari Cooper, so I got rid of him. And then he went off, but he didn't get started anyways. So then somebody else had to deal with his shit. I mean, it was feast or famine with him back in the day.
Yeah. He's been pretty good in Dallas, though.
Rogers back out in the bottom of the ninth, gives up a leadoff single. His 12 pitches have been fucking terrible.
Okay.
But we're moving on. We have the fourth matchup this week. We have the Dillon Panthers versus the Just Drew It. Jeff is an 8.1 point favorite. Looking at this team, he's got a really strong half a lineup. And then after that, it really kind of falls off. Drew, on the other hand, it's your straight up Drew lineup from 08 through before he had kids, where he's got a bunch of guys that are just going to score. He's going to score that 100, just like Matt does every week with his no-name guys, and kind of make it work. I think I got to go. I think I got to go Jeff here, just because he looks like he's got a more complete lineup than Andrew and his budget guys.
Yeah, I think big hit to Drew's lineup with Shane McCoy coming over to Kansas City and Damian Williams now being in question a little bit. Who knows how that plays out? And Andy Reid still says that Williams is the guy, but I mean Shady's been productive.
We'll just see how.
Career, so
Damian Williams is hurt. That's why they picked up McCoy.
Is he gonna play week 1?
They don't know. That's the issue.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm gonna go with the Dillon Panthers then. Get Melvin Gordon back in the fold, and it'll help your chances tremendously.
Yeah,
John?
Drew? Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, looks like John's busy in his auction draft there. So.
I think I'm gonna get Kirk Cousins for $1. So.
Big news.
You willing to spend $2?
Yeah. Well, didn't need it. Got him for $1. So far, can I give an update on my lineup? Tell me what you guys think.
Yeah,
this is
we'll
my
do
starting
that.
lineup. Okay.
Let's do it in one game.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I committed a few dollars there to Melvin, hoping he would. I thought I got him for a decent deal. If he comes back, that's going to be the big key there. Right now, I guess I'll kind of admit to Dave there. I think I'm going to be right around 100 points every week. If I can get, if Joe Mixon can turn it on this year, and Damian Williams is the big wild card there. You don't know. He looked good at the end of the year last year. Hopefully he can carry that into this year. I think my wide receivers are solid, so I'm going to go me.
Jeff,
Jeff just got engaged, so he's gonna win. How's that for analysis, guys?
Pretty good.
Perfect.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
All right, then we have the Breast Implants Inc. versus the Heart Attack, and it appears that Grieve is 4-point favorites in this one. So basically a toss up. Look at Hartman's lineup: Baker Mayfield, Dalvin Cook, Diggs. He's a ride or die with the Vikings, I think, this year, and I don't know how they're going to start out playing because we haven't seen them put together that complete of even a half. So this week I got to go with the Grieve.
I think Hartman's lineup is full of people that have huge upside, but a lot of question marks as well. Baker Mayfield is that way. Dalvin Cook's got to prove he can be healthy. Chris Carson is potentially sitting on a big year because they love to run the ball in Seattle. Diggs is underachieved, but obviously has huge upside. Chris Godwin is, people are talking about the connection between Foles and Godwin as being, I mean, he's got potential wide receiver 1 type upside. Marlon Mack is, he could be a top 10 running back easily. So tons of upside for Hartman. But I like the well-roundedness of Grieve's lineup. I'm going with Grieve this week. I think Hartman's a better team in the long run, though.
Do you swallow when you suck that cock that so hard?
What?
Holy mackerel.
Well, which I don't even know who's. Never mind. I'm not even. Not even gonna ask. Not even gonna ask. Moving on.
Probably smart on your side, John.
Are we talking about the days when they used to fellatio each other in the haze, or what are we referring?
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he's stuck in Hartman's cock this whole entire time, talking about how much upside everybody on that team is.
Normally he's fellatioing Grieve, so I was really confused on where he was going.
I think we all were. Christ.
Is it my turn to pick?
It's your turn.
Okay. Hartman was a douchebag. He outbid me for Baker Mayfield, so fuck him. Grieve's a winning all the way.
Yeah, and I
love you, Adam.
I'd have to agree with Matt's analysis there. He's riding and almost Phil Bastron's analogy of you're riding or dying with the Vikings there, Hartman. I gotta go. I gotta go with breast implants.
Wow, clean sweep. All right, and then the final matchup is a pick'em. Up. Final in Boston, Minnesota 6, Boston 5.
Yeah, baby.
Wow, that's awesome.
Cleveland lost.
Yep. Cleveland lost
to the White Sox.
Love that. We did that too, though.
Well, we did.
We have the pre-snap adjustment versus easy as a beezy, reigning champ versus a 2-time champion in a pick'em game here in week 1. I don't think Derek's team is even close to what it was last year. He probably would admit that he didn't draft very well. You look over at John's team, on the other hand, there appears to be a couple of holes, and I don't know why you're starting DK Metcalf.
I'm not. It's just I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet.
I mean, you don't have anybody you can put in, do you?
Yeah, and I've kind of been watching, so I've just been watching the waiver wire, and there'll be decisions made before game time. So.
Gotcha.
Yep. So this isn't definitive, and I will be honest, whatever I do is probably going to be a lower score than what it. So I'd say while you're picking this game, just imagine me scoring 100 points. That's what I'd go with, if I'm being 100% honest.
All right. Well, I think that Derek's probably going to score more than that, so I'm going to go with Derek Hartman.
Fair enough.
Let's shoot over to Matt.
Yeah, I think that Hartman's Derek's team is full of a bunch of guys that are like, I mean, they had great years last year, and now I think there's questions whether or not they can live up to their expectations from the previous year. Deshaun Watson what looked like a world beater for part of the season last year. Max had him, and he just raked up in those weeks. Henry had a great year last year. Can he repeat? Eckler, questions about whether or not he can be the full-time back in San Diego. He could lose snaps. Odell Beckham was hurt.
It's L.A.
L.A. What did I say? San Diego.
LA.
L.A.
Yeah.
Have
You ever
fish
had the
tacos
tacos?
in
LA.
L.A.
Mike Evans has always been streaky. So I'm going pre-snap adjustments. I like the consistency over there. Don't love DJ Metcalf, but like the rest of it.
No, you sons of bitches didn't bite on that at all. None of you did. That sucked so bad.
Yeah.
It's the worst dollar I've ever spent, and I've been to some horrible places. You ever been to Tijuana? You know you can get there.
Hey, it might work out. They don't have a lot of receivers over there.
We'll see. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Go ahead, Drew.
All right. David Johnson busts pretty much every year, right? Bell, you don't know what you're getting, but it could go big. Calvin Ridley, he was streaky last year, but I do like Kittle and Freeman. You don't know what you're getting, but I guess in line with Matt. God, I'm agreeing with Matt again.
I'm just a smart guy, Drew.
No,
God, why don't you guys just get a room already?
Yeah, right.
And this will be your last time on this show.
Just I heard I'm already getting replaced next week, so easy as BC, same deal. He's got a lot of question marks. I'm gonna be in pre-snap adjustment. John, can you give us a further explanation of where you came up with that name?
Yeah. So if you look closely in the picture, you'll see a picture of Tom Brady with Thanos' head on it.
You don't have a picture.
And what does Thanos do? Snaps his fingers and all is equal in the world. So that's where the pre-snap adjustment, because Tom Brady is Thanos. If you watch Gridiron Heights, Tom Brady is Thanos, and he's basically the Mad Titan. So that's where I got that from.
All right.
Yeah, so catch up on some Gridiron Heights, and then you'll understand.
So, Drew, you're picking who here?
I'm going John.
All right. And then John Thompson, who... How do you look at your chances?
It's pretty obvious. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence. So I pretty much drafted an all-star team. It's the Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour. I'm the trail blazing, eyebrow raising, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. Me by 200 over Derek. I like to bend over and let Lisa put it in my pooper. Hartman.
Boom.
Pre-snap adjustment. Boom.
Love that. All right, then our one Minnesota pick for the week. We got the Vikings versus the Atlanta Falcons at home. We'll go around the room. I'll pick last. So let's start with Drew.
I think the Vikings are 3.5 favorites last I heard. Pretty much means the home field advantage.
Yep.
Atlanta, same deal. You just don't know what you're getting with Matty Ice. I guess everything's early, right? It's hard to predict, but I'm gonna hope that the home field advantage goes towards us and we can pull out the victory.
Perfect. So Minnesota. John.
Usually we have pretty good. The last couple times we've faced Atlanta, it's been in Atlanta, and we've actually played them really competitively and shut their offense down. They're missing Tevin Coleman. They have Ito Smith and a healthy Devonta Freeman in the backfield now. So we got to make sure to shut their run down. And then, of course, you have Julio Jones, who Xavier Rhodes is actually locked down pretty solidly. So then you got to make sure you pay attention to Calvin Ridley and Mohamed Sanu, and even Austin Hooper. So I think the line is correct. I think the Vikings win by 3.
Beauty. Maddie.
Yeah, I think this game is all about the defense. You need to get these guys, some of this high-powered offense in Atlanta, off kilter to start the season. defense has got to show up and play the way that Minnesota defenses should play, considering how much money is on that side of the ball. I think they do that first week of the season, and I think the Vikings come out victorious. They keep them under 23, they'll win this game.
Beauty. You know, I just echo you guys' thoughts on this. I think that if we play Minnesota Viking football like we were able to, that, you know, we should be able to come out on top. So I'm going Vikes, and I'm going to say Thielen 2 touchdowns.
One thing we need to watch is the Atlanta defense, because the year they went to the Super Bowl, they were pretty awesome. Last year they had a lot of injuries, so they were pretty awful. We'll see how they rebound with, I think, a pretty much healthy secondary now. So that'll be interesting to watch.
All right. Well, I think that kind of brings us to the end of my list of topics for this week. I'm excited fantasy football's back. I did see that Hartman was throwing around the Venmo request to everybody this week, so make sure you get him paid out. Should be a great year fantasy football-wise. If there's any questions before now and then, get it in. And I hope everybody has a good weekend.
Bye.
See ya.
The bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Oh, good for you.